Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar.
What's up, everybody? You've been living under a rock, and I guess you haven't heard that Trump's tax returns or a copy of the transcripts have been obtained by the New York Times or some publication. And the left and the Democrats are already messing this up because they're focused on the wrong things. What do I mean? How? I've been seeing a lot of tweets talking about how Trump has only paid $750 in taxes. And see a lot of Democratic leaders who are basically saying that, you know, healthcare workers pay more, people at McDonald's pay more in their taxes. And that's a great point for people who are already supporters of the left or the Democratic Party. It is a terrible point for anybody else. Why is that? Well, many people on the right are anti-government or small government. They view taxation as theft. So, in their mind, it is morally okay to pay as little taxes as you possibly can. If you pay no federal taxes or no income tax as a business, people in the business community and people on the right applaud this as some great achievement that you've gained the system, you're not paying any taxes, everything that you've done is pure profit at this point, right? It is something that they celebrate. Notice how our messaging on the left already is we're trying to demonize this, and it's already creating a divide. You have to expect these people care that they're not paying taxes. One, tax evasion's like a white collar crime, and most of the time the right doesn't view white collar crime the same as it does like property crime or the taking of a life or something like that. They view tax evasion as something that, yeah, you can break the law and morally it's okay. It's fine. It's kind of like how a lot of people on the left feel when, or how we justify property crimes in response to innocent civilians being killed, right? They don't view it as criminal. It's one of those things that it's like, yeah, it's a law, but come on, really? Who am I hurting or whatever? It hurts a lot of people. I'm not saying that. But that's their perception. And we're sitting here saying that Trump only paying $750 in taxes is terrible, right? He's such a bad person. That message doesn't resonate with his base. They don't care if they pay taxes. That just means that Trump isn't supporting things like Planned Parenthood or gender studies or all of this other shit that they think that the government pays for or like directly funds, and if the government didn't pay for it, it wouldn't be funded. And that we should be focusing on the left is not only pointing out that the system itself is messed up, right? Like somebody like Trump can claim so many losses and defer his tax payments and claim to be so wealthy and claim to have so much money, right? But he doesn't pay anything in taxes. The system itself is screwed up. That's what we should be pointing out. Like, we need to make sure that our system makes sure everybody pays their fair share. Now, the idea of a fair share is something also that the right really doesn't care about because they don't think that we should be doing as much in social welfare or government programs. So that's also a point that kind of falls under their radar. But that is something we should be focusing on more than how much he pays, right? We should be talking about that the system is set up to allow people to gain advantage of these loopholes and stuff like that. And it's completely legal, and that's the point that we should be stressing, is that gaining the system and going through all these loopholes to pay like barely anything in taxes as a business, that is a problem. That shouldn't be the way the laws are designed. That shouldn't be a way for businesses to skirt out of their already incredibly low corporate tax rates or whatever. And then another point we need to be focusing on is what information is going to come from his taxes, right? I'm not a CPA. I've taken some business classes or whatnot. I understand how to balance books. I understand, how to use QuickBooks. I've owned a business before, and I know how you can hide assets. I know how you can put all your wealth into things that don't generate cash flow or whatever. Like, it's more important to own assets that you could liquidate for cash than cash itself. Nobody in the business world cares about cash itself. That's not what makes you wealthy. Wealthy is the total accumulation of like all your assets and all your debts and stuff like that. And debt isn't something that is bad, because people in the business world can use debt, they can leverage it to make more money in the long run. They can use other people's money to make money for themselves. And that's like one of the core tenets in business, is they try to teach you like how to leverage debt. Like, debt for individuals of your household is bad, but debt for a company, you can leverage it and make more money. And debt's not that bad, right? So we should be evaluating how Trump has, or his accountants has, moved his money around to make it seem like these are balanced. An early report I read was that like how he pays Ivanka for being an employee, her being paid as a consultant, is actually against the IRS laws, and she shouldn't be paid as a consultant. And that's one of the ways he's like skirted around paying taxes and stuff, is that he pays her as a consultant even though she's not acting in like a consultant role. And of course, this is breaking an IRS tax law, and a lot of the right's just not going to care, because they don't see tax laws as this like moral component in which we should get the death penalty for. In short, all I'm saying is that don't focus on how much he's paid. That's a losing battle. Is the people that already agree with you are already on your side, or already on your team. They already agree. But what you're doing is you're creating this like divide, that like paying taxes is what every citizen should do, while many people on the right think it's their civic duty to not pay as much taxes and to give the government that much power. This is something you have to understand, and it's something that we fail all the time on, is our messaging and how we interpret things. They don't interpret these things the same. Like, you're going to come up to a Trump supporter and be like, he only paid $750 in taxes last year. And that Trump supporter is going to look at you like this. Okay, we should be applauding that, right? Bravo, Trump, bravo. And you're going to sit there and be like, I don't understand why you're not on my side on this. Because they don't care. It's not something that they're gonna slap your hand over as like a punishment, but it's not something that they really care about. It's one of these things where they say like law and order, except for like white collar crime, because then that's fine, as long as you're not like directly stealing money from them. They don't really care. Anyways, I just wanted to drop a couple of thoughts on Trump's tax returns, because we are failing at delivering a cohesive message that can persuade people on the other side to agree with us. It's only going to make it harder. So just don't use that argument. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Have a good weekend. Like, share, and subscribe. You want to come onto my channel, we can talk about things. We could debate about something. I'm open for all types of things. I've engaged with a lot of people, so just let me know. Thanks, y'all.